Silly. Nice. Oh, it's gonna rain? I thought you said it's not gonna rain. 9:20. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I was like, why is there a line? I forgot they haven't really opened the ride yet. They opened the ability to get to the ride. It's not really, they just haven't let people on yet. Letting people on yet. So it'll go by pretty fast.
A few rules before we enter. Please keep hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the truck at all times, securing all loose articles. For if something falls out of our truck, we cannot stop for it, and it definitely will not be in the same condition as when you dropped it. We are about to enter the Little Lettieri Forest. In the Little Lettieri Forest, animals use their natural camouflage to blend in with their surroundings. Over to your right-hand side, you're going to see the okapi. The okapi is the closest living relative to the giraffe. They have a large prehensile tongue that they use to reach up into those trees and eat those leaves. To our left-hand side is going to be some saddle-billed stork. Saddle-billed stork get their name because of that yellow saddle-shaped flap that's on their beak. They stand about 5 feet tall and have about a 9-foot wingspan. As we round this corner, keep your eyes peeled for some black rhinos. Black rhinos are critically endangered. They are one of the smaller of the rhino species, weighing in at about 3,000 pounds. We can kind of see one up there on that hillside. We'll probably get a better view of him as we round this corner. You can kind of see him up there. We're now going to leave the Little Letiri Forest and we're going to head into the Safi River. In the Safi River, the animals here are more aquatic. So let's keep our eyes peeled for some hippos and maybe some crocodile. Over to your right and kind of towards the back of the truck is some of our Nile hippos. Hippos spend the majority of their time underwater. For about 8 minutes at a time they'll actually be under the water. They'll then bob their head up to gain some air, and then they'll go right back underneath. While it may look like the hippos are swimming, they're typically just walking along the riverbed. We have a couple more over here on our left-hand side. Hippos are very territorial, so if you ever find yourself near a herd of hippos, you definitely don't want to do that. Over to your left-hand side, those birds are called pink-backed pelicans. Pink-backed pelicans get their name because during mating season their skin turns a shade of pink, which is a good indication that they'll be mating soon. As we round this corner, we're going to head to what I like to call Croc Bridge. Croc Bridge gets its name because underneath us is going to be some Nile crocodile. The difference between a crocodile and an alligator is their snout. Crocodile have a more pointed snout, whereas alligators have a rounded snout. When the eggs are about to hatch out, the mama croc will put those eggs in her mouth and she'll swirl them around with her tongue. It helps to loosen the eggshell and make it easier for the babies to hatch out. We're now going to leave the Safi River and we're going to head into the savannah. Some animals we might encounter in the savannah might be some giraffe, some lions, and maybe some wildebeests. We'll see what we see as we head on down in. A few rules the animals have set out for us. Please do not try to call out to them. Please do not try to reach out for them. Those are their rules. This is their home and we're going to follow their rules. Over to our right hand side, that large tree is called a baobab tree. The baobab tree is leafless for about 9 months out of the year. They have a sponge-like texture inside of them that holds water, and that's where it gets that nickname of the tree of life, because they hold so much water. Looks like immediately over to our right-hand side is going to be some Maasai giraffe as we head down on in. Maasai giraffe at birth are 6 feet tall. They take about a 6-foot drop down to the ground. It's to help them to be able to breathe, but it's also like a little welcome to the world. Maasai giraffe at their tallest can be anywhere from 16 to 20 feet in height. They have 7 bones in their neck, just like us humans. Over to your left-hand side is some African wild dogs. African wild dogs are also called painted dogs. They are one of the most successful pack hunters here on the reserve. They have about an 80 to 90% success rate. They are led by both a male and female alpha. Those antelope over there on the left-hand side are called sable antelope. Sable antelope are the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. It is due to their protective instincts is why we made them the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Those horns that point backward help them to fend off any predators from behind. Coming up ahead of us on the left-hand side is going to be some Hartman's mountain zebra. Hartman's mountain zebra get their name because they have those small hoofs that help them to navigate mountainous terrain. They also have a dewlap under their neck that helps them to regulate their body temperature. It is true that no two zebra have the same stripes. And that little herd of zebra we have over there is called a dazzle. Aren't they dazzling? Those mounds of dirt we passed are called termite mounds. Termite mounds are made up of dirt, dung, and saliva. They're as hard as concrete, and a lot of the animals here on the reserve like to use them as back-scratching posts. Over to your right is another great view of that Maasai giraffe. Over off in the distance by those giraffe is some wildebeests. Wildebeests are one of the largest migratory herd animals here on the reserve. They travel in herds of hundreds of thousands all the way up to herds of about 1 million. They are very skittish and they do stampede quite easily. If you ever find yourself in a stampede of wildebeests, you definitely don't want that. If you don't believe me, ask Mufasa. Coming up on our right-hand side, you're going to see some springbok. Springbok can jump 6 feet straight up in the air and 13 feet straight forward when spooked. They reach speeds of about 40 miles an hour. We're now going to leave giraffe territory and head over and see if we can spot any elephants. At the age of 15, the male elephants typically leave the herd and they either form small bachelor herds or they travel alone. Talk about a large bachelor party. Coming up right over here to our right-hand side is going to be one of our elephants. You might notice that they are flapping their ears. That is to help them regulate their body temperature. We'll continue on up ahead and see if we can get a better view up ahead. Looks like we're approaching another bridge, everybody, so please do remain seated for us. This one looks a lot bumpier than the last. As we round this corner, keep your eyes peeled for some of those elephants. They typically like to be around watering holes, especially at this time of day. It looks like we're about to pass through some red clay. Red clay is a great nutrient for elephants. They typically like to dig their tusks into that red clay. We can kind of see some elephants have been nearby due to those tusk marks we see in the red clay. Elephants have 2 tusks on their face. They're made up of ivory. That's commonly what they're poached for out in the wild. The oldest female of a herd of elephants is typically the matriarch of that herd. Coming up on the right-hand side, you're going to get another great view of those baobab trees. Looks like the elephants might be somewhere else on the savannah, so we'll just continue on. Coming up here on the left-hand side is our greater flamingo. The greater flamingo are the lightest coloring of pink of all flamingo. At birth, they have these gray feathers in it. As they grow up and eat their diet of brine shrimp, that helps them to get the keratin they need in order to have their feathers turn pink. We're going to leave elephant and flamingo territory, and we're now going to head over into white rhino territory. White rhinos are critically endangered as well. They are one of the larger of the rhino species here on the reserve, weighing in at about 5,000 to 5,500 pounds. The white rhinos have a horn on their face that is made up of keratin, which is the same material as our fingernails and our hair. That is also commonly what they're poached for out in the wild. Kind of silly to poach them for something that we already have on our head. About 6 to 9 months ago, one of our female white rhinos gave birth to the cutest little baby, so you might be seeing her running around the savannah here in just a little bit. We'll continue around the corner and see if we can spot them. Coming up here on the left, keep your eyes peeled for some cheetahs. Cheetah are one of the fastest land animals, reaching speeds of about 60 miles an hour in only a few seconds. You would think due to their speed they would be successful hunters, but they only have about a 10 to 20% success rate. We can kind of see them right over there on that hillside.
Steve was our cheetah.
Coming up ahead of us, this large rock formation is called a kopie.
Right there.
The typical animal we have on our kopie is our lions. Lions typically spend about 16 to 20 hours a day sleeping, resting their energy for when they go hunting at night. During the daytime, lions have the same vision as us, but at nighttime they have 6 times the vision. It has been said that you can hear a lion's roar from about 5 miles away. That too has been said about the Disney fireworks. It looks like our mail is right over here around the corner, so we're going to continue on, try to get you a good view of them. The males are typically the ones that stay at home and protecting the cubs and the copy from anybody that might try to take the cub or the copy over. And the females typically go out and do the hunting. As we round this corner, keep your eyes peeled for some warthogs. Warthogs are one of the few burrowing animals we have here on the reserve. They have 4 tusks on their face that they use to dig down and create those burrows. After they're done creating the burrow, they then back into it with their tusk pointed outwards, so that way they can fend off any predators. We can kind of see one way back there. There's another one laying down. Over here on the right-hand side, you're going to see some ostrich eggs. Ostrich eggs weigh about 3 pounds each. A human can stand on them and they wouldn't break. We're now going to leave the savannah and we're going to head into the warden's outpost. The wardens have been playing host to some Nigerian dwarf goats recently. Nigerian dwarf goats are very playful and friendly. The farmers typically like to use the Nigerian dwarf goats for their milk. They make excellent milk. Also on your left-hand side, you're going to see a yellow triangular-shaped box. That yellow triangular-shaped box is called a bee box. It has been found that elephants are deathly afraid of bees, and so farmers typically put those along their fence line to keep the elephants away from eating their crop. Here in Harambe Conservation that have made it possible for many of these animals.
Not yet. I don't know what I'm gonna be hungry for then.
I'm going to go eat your first. I already know what I want. I'll just order.
Nice.
I want the macaroni with the fries and ice.
Mmm, good choice. Good choice. Everything.
But you don't have enough room for that cup.
Huh?
Well, you don't have enough room
Where?
for the cup.
On the side? On the backpack?
Do I have to put it on the side?